Hello, kumusta? My name's Olive de Guzman. I'm your friendly neighborhood physical therapist. And our topic for today is low back pain. There are many exercises for low back pain, but many people continue to have pain because they don't know exactly why they are hurting. And according to studies, 80% of people will experience some kind of low back pain in their lifetime. So it is pretty rampant. So there are a few causes that I think people don't know about, that they are doing on a day-to-day basis, that causes them pain, right? So the first cause would be the type of joint that the low back has. The low back is a cartilaginous joint. It is not a hinge joint that moves this way like the knee, or it is not a ball and socket like the hip either, the one that moves that way. All right? So the cartilage, which has a disc, which is called the disc, is found in between the spine. And in the low back, the area of the most motion is L5 and S1, the lumbar 5 and the sacral 1 section of the low back. And the disc is like a jelly-filled donut, all right? So the jelly-filled donut is, of course, has a jelly inside. And if we bend over, well, see, if you remember what I said in previous videos, that the nerves is at the back of the spine. It's not in the front. So the spinal cord is running behind the spine, not in front, not here, but at the back. So if the jelly-filled donut is squeezed, let's say these are the vertebrae, and you squeeze the jelly because you're lifting something heavy this way, so the protrusion of that jelly-filled donut will be all the way around. But the moment you bend forward, you squeeze the jelly towards where the spinal cord is. So every time you bend over, you punch the spinal cord. But if you stand up or lean back, you don't do that because it's not found in the front. So according to Nakimson or other researchers, that if we are seated and bend over, that has the most pressure on that jelly-filled donut. So what that is, like, the worst position we can be is sitting bent over. The second worst position is standing bent over. Every time you do that, you punch that nerve, the spinal cord, in the lumbar area. All right, so let's keep that in mind when we are doing things at home, because it is what you do at home or at work, your day-to-day life, that causes pain. So you also have to remember that during exercising. So the second cause is when we are children, we are taught to bend over to exercise, bend over when we're brushing our teeth, bend over to do a lot of things. But why is it that we don't hurt when we are kids? It's because the jelly-filled donut is still filled with jelly. It is still filled with fluid, and it does not affect us that much. But when we are older, it gets really, really dry. We also have to remember that the low back has no other bones supporting it. It's just the spine. And the muscles that are around the low back are very small. If not small, they are thin and long. So every time we sit or stand erect, our muscles are already engaged because they have to be they have to go be what do you call this? They have to go against gravity. So if they're already engaged and tight just by keeping us straight, when we bend over, it is like having a tug of war. You know, one side pulling and the other side pulling until we tear it, until we tear the soft tissues that's supporting the low back. All right. So the next problem that we usually don't know about is the time of recovery. Now, recovery time when we are kids, it's so quick that within 24 hours, the next day, you know, the kid is already running again, jumping again, playing again. But when we are old, it takes 24 to 72 hours for muscles to recover from natural, you know, tension. So unless of course, you know, you overdo or you have an accident that is massive, it takes longer to manifest. But you have to remember that nobody just wakes up and then suddenly they have pain. No. If you wake up and you have pain, that pain comes from 2 to 3 days before. So you think about what you did 2 to 3 days prior, and that is the reason why you have pain. And the older we get, the longer it takes. It will take sometimes more than 72 hours to recover from whatever happened, whatever we did to our muscles, right? So the fourth problem that causes pain is our activities of daily living. Now let's see what the Bible says about that. Here, Jesus said, "Truly I say to you, unless you are converted and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." So what does that mean with regards to pain? All right. So let me give this as an example. When my kids were small, I used to vacuum the floor every day. You know why? Because they were always on the floor. They played there. Sometimes they even carry their food there. They eat there. They dress there. You know, give a child shoes. They'll sit on the floor, put it on. You give them pants. They sit down, put the pants on. But when we become adults, what happens to us? We bend over. We bend over, put one foot in, and then keep bending over and put another foot in, and then we twist because the zipper is on the side, because most expensive clothes have zippers on the side. And you know, there's too many things that we do as an adult that we change, but there's also things that we never change that are also, let's say for example, bending over to brush your teeth. Whoever told you that you cannot brush your teeth standing up straight? Think about it. So it is our habits, our activities of daily living that causes us pain. And you know, I have so many patients saying, you know, it's just impossible not to bend over. The fifth reason why our low back hurts is, as what I've said prior to the previous videos, is the twisted thoughts. The twisted thoughts that make us think that we should be walking on all fours. And that came from the evolutionist Darwin, all right? You know, I remembered as a young girl, there was an atheist, and I was just listening. My mom was talking to him, and he kept trying to convince my mom that we come from monkeys. And my mom said, well, maybe you came from monkey because you look like a monkey. I don't. So I don't believe I came from a monkey. And that got stuck in my head, you know. And I was quite impressed with that answer, because the Bible says that God made us according to his image. We look like him, all right? We feel like him, and we were not a mistake. We were not supposed to behave, and that's why we have souls. That's why we have the spirit, because we were not supposed to behave like animals, okay? Now, let me tell you the story, the origins of evolution. So in 1958, there was only less than 500 words in textbooks about evolution. It was just a theory. A theory is not fact, all right? It's like someone thought, and that is a theory. But if it's not proven, it doesn't become fact. And, you know, the president during that time, I think it's Eisenhower, requested $2 billion to change the textbooks to involve Darwin and put more Darwinian thoughts into it. And so he got approved, and then suddenly the textbooks have between 3,000 to 5,000 words. But the studies show that after that year, after those textbooks were published, there were more juvenile crimes, because the kids now think that there's no God. There is no accountability anymore. So the rise in juvenile crimes and insubordination to their parents and all that increased. And so I think that when you are a parent, you need to teach your children the truth about who we are, who created us, and how beautiful we were created, and that we are like God. We are not like monkeys, and we are not gonna behave like monkeys. And because we have a mind, we can sit at a meeting, we can sit and evaluate our actions, we can sit and converse and feel things. We just don't climb trees and eat the fruit that we were designed to eat. No, we can make choices. We can make choices to bend or not to bend. And we can make choices to hurt or not to hurt, to obey or not to obey, to trust God or not to trust God. Okay? So please subscribe to my channel and click like if you like my videos, so I will get inspired to make more. All right, thank you so much.